G'day guys, welcome back to the Supercoach YouTube channel. Today we will be reviewing round 18 and discussing all the carnage that has happened with injuries and suspensions throughout the weekend and how to navigate that. So for me this week, scored 2,471, which I thought was not going to be a great score. I thought I would maybe hold my rank, but I moved up 78 up to rank 428. So pretty happy with that, I guess. I still have 3 trades left as well. I think I've already booked one of them in here. Have I? Yeah, I have. Let's bit of a spoiler, but let's undo that now. So yeah, this is how I lined up this week. And yeah, let's get into it. So Rosie 53 was subbed off. It sounds like a dislocated finger. For me, I am going to hold this. No matter, unless he's out for more than 3 weeks, I'm just going to hold this because I've got 2 trades this week and I need to move on players this week that are out for 3 weeks and the rest of the season in Tristan Cherry and Jason Horne-Francis. So they are my priorities there. Dane Zorko, 107. Yeah, Carlton were really bad and Zorko just had he had a middling day. Paying 600k for what's going to end up being a 105 average is a little bit of a embarrassment. But that is what it is. I think paying 600k has not worked once this year. Genuinely, not once. Even Cherry, it's not worked. I paid 630 for him. Thought I was getting a good deal. I've got some. What is this? 57 this week. Yeah, and this 79. Like, just it hasn't worked out. So I think a good rule is never pay 600k for anyone. I think we've learned that this year, unless the run is just too good to pass up. But yeah, that's a learning for next year. McKercher, thought he was mostly pretty good against Melbourne. He has some shocking brain fade turnovers. I don't know if that's just him trying to do too much, but a lot of the time it's a kick to someone, to an opposition player where there's no North player around. And I don't understand how that can happen so often. It happens 2 to 3 times a game. So that's a little bit of a concern for Colby, but I'm sure he will work that out of his game as he gets more experience. This has been a good pick for me, though, so far. And then Dale, 93. I thought he would go a lot better because the Crows have tended to give up points to halfbacks, but I think his calf has been hampering him a little bit. So, yeah, this is not ideal. Again, I think I spoke about this last week, but I thought I'd be getting some massive scores from Dale in this Marvel run, and to get 65 against North, 83 against Richmond, and 93 against Adelaide is a massive disappointment. So pretty upset with that. And then Whitfield against the Cats, not normally a great matchup for halfbacks. We take a 105, it is what it is. Sinclair, 106, found a little bit of form, did Sinclair. I was half expecting the tag to go on. Sorry, I was half expecting Sydney to double tag Sinclair and Isaiah Wanganeen-Miller. It seemed like Sinclair avoided one of the tags. I didn't actually watch this game, so I don't know who was tagging Nas. I know he was being tagged. I don't know if the other tag went elsewhere. But yeah, it's a good result for Sinclair. This week, his matchup is not good, I believe. Geelong at GMHBA, so that's going to be a tough watch that I won't watch to avoid the pain. So yeah. That is Jack Sinclair. And then McCarthy, 87. I was meant to loop with Chera, and I failed to do so, which has cost me 11 points in the end. Not the end of the world, but it's 11 points that I would have liked very much. And I think Campbell Gray is off the injury list this week, so I might get coverage in defence and in the midfield, which would be excellent. And I know Cooper Simpson isn't too far away anymore either, round 20, so it'd be good if I had him now to potentially deal with Horne-Francis. But yeah, Zach Butters, 154. I did say his history against West Coast was pretty poor last week. This is why we don't just go off of history against the side. Just look at the matchup and how the levers in that matchup go. So West Coast give up points to midfielders. You take a midfielder against them. So yeah, that would have been another great captain option. For those who have him. And then Dacos, 85 against Gold Coast is pretty disappointing. Yeah, his brother went 200 as well, so well done if you had Josh Dacos. I think he hadn't been going too crash hot the last few weeks, but if you have a player for 10 weeks and they do 95 with a random 200 in there, it's they're pretty much averaging 105. So yeah, I mean, if you got him for this Melbourne game, you'd be wrapped. Absolutely wrapped, I would suggest. So Yeah, Josh Dacos thought was a pick that was not going to do me any damage. The damage has been done, and it'll be interesting to see if he plays more mid-time going forward. I'm not sure if that was just because Nick was beat up. But by the way, I'm not trying to criticise Dacos because I think he's a great player, but he does have a tendency to seem a little bit banged up and injured when things are going a little bit tougher for Collingwood. So whether that be him getting tagged or Collingwood losing, I've just noticed he keeps getting hurt in these sorts of games. So I don't know if that's a malicious tactic by opponents. I presume it's not, or Nick just carrying on a little bit, but would like to see that out of his game. Such a champion of the game. So, yeah, Nick Dacos a little bit disappointing, 85 against Gold Coast, but we move to Bond to 174 against the Crows. I feel like no matter how good the Crows have gotten this year, the big body mids that can hit the scoreboard always go well against the Crows. We've seen it with, Petrarca and Oliver. Oliver's not really a scoreboard hitter, but he used to kill the Crows as well. We've seen it in the past, and it's holding true at the moment. So if you had Noah Anderson, who I'd been talking about, I remember talking about midway through the buys, I want Noah Anderson. And he went 150 in a tough matchup, and it was curtains for me for getting Noah, but it is what it is. That's the game. But yeah, it would have been great having Anderson over Sarong probably in the end. Tom Green, 97 against Geelong is pretty disappointing. I did not watch this game. But yeah, it's a little bit disappointing. Would have liked a 110 in this game in an easier matchup. But yeah, is what it is. Dawson 157 was awesome against the Dogs. The Dogs have a massive problem with defending ball movement. And that is music to Jordan Dawson's ears, who just carves teams up with no pressure on him. There was a lot of times where Dawson was just kicking completely uncontested. I think he had 1 or 2 goals as well. Just, yeah, excellent game for Dawson. I think this year is going to be a very interesting Brownlow. I think like Dawson and Anderson are going to push the likes of Dacos, and I think Bont will get in there. Butters, those types. I think it's going to be a really interesting count this year. So very much looking forward to that. And then Brayshaw on Sarong, 121 and 95. I thought Sarong would get attention. I don't know that he did. I did watch this game, but I was only half watching it. Brayshaw was very good though. Just gets it done, Brayshaw, and then Sarong. I'm kind of disappointed in Sarong. Like, when did I get him? I got him. I think I got him. I could check my trade history, but I think I got him here for this Giants game. Like, this 63 hurts so much. But yeah, anyway, Sarong will be an interesting one next year, whether or not he started, because I would suggest his output this year has been unders, and I think he'll be quite value. And I think there's a lot of mids that are quite value next year that have massive potential to inflict harm on non-owners. So Sarong's one of them. But yeah, hopefully he gets going for the rest of the year. We've got a couple of really good matchups the next 2 weeks: Collingwood and West Coast before tougher one in Carlton. Port's whole team is injured, so that should be okay. Although he could get Bergman. And then Brisbane and the Bulldogs aren't great, although he does normally go well against the Dogs. And then Chera, 76, I don't know, just turned the ball over a heap. He's turned the ball over so much the last few weeks, which is why the scores have dried up. It's kind of strange. I can't believe we're getting 110 from Chera at one point. It's absolutely mental. Absolutely mental. Even 105 was a huge ask, but yeah. Melbourne this week is an easy matchup for mids. Hawthorn, Freo are not. Gold Coast is, I think Port's okay if you don't get tagged, and then Essendon's going to be a cupcake fixture for the rest of the year because their whole team is actually injured, so that's pretty unfortunate for them. But yeah, and then Rowan Marshall, I traded one ruckman to someone. I traded a ruckman splitting ruck time to a ruckman who 1 week later started splitting ruck time with a debutant. So can't say I was thrilled with that, but I feel like if he wasn't playing against Grundy, who's in such an unbelievable patch of form, I probably would have got a decent score anyway. So yeah, I don't have the trades to be concerned about this, so I'm just riding it. I did say this about Rowan Marshall previously, that I don't like owning him. Although it looks like he's going to have Geelong. Max is a tough matchup, but then North without Cherry, and then Richmond, Essendon, GWS. That's actually a very good run home. So yeah, okay. No cause for pause, as Stephen A. Smith would say. And then Cherry, he just got, I don't know, Gawn just gave him a bath. It was kind of the reverse of what happened in round 2, where Cherry gave Gawn a bath. I would say that in round 2, Gawn was a little bit down on his form for whatever reason. And then Cherry looked nowhere near it today for some reason. I don't know if that like head knock was still affecting him. Did pass a concussion test, so that would suggest it isn't. But yeah, I don't know. And then had a swinging arm that concussed Tom Sparrow and knocked him out before he hit the ground late in the game. No malice in that at all, but the match review officer doesn't like those swinging arms, and the AFL doesn't like concussions. So I think North has been. It sounds like North has been told it's going to be given 3 weeks, but the MRO hasn't published that yet. So yeah, it sounds like Cherry's going to miss half the season. And then he does come back to a pretty good run though in GWS and Richmond. Oh man, this was a very good fixture. Geelong, St Kilda, GWS, Richmond for with Adelaide and Sydney bookending it, which aren't great. But yeah, I think he's got to go now if you have the trades to do it. And then Baz has gone quiet. If you traded him on his bye, I think you're laughing at this point. Like, obviously he's made bulk cash, given you heaps of good scores. But now it's like he's getting some tougher games. He does have a very easy run home, so he'll probably be okay. But yeah, I don't know. I think if at the moment, if you traded him, you are absolutely laughing. And then Rankin 105 was excellent against the Dogs. He's been really good the last couple of weeks, which we love to see. Next week's probably tough, but the following games should be pretty easy for him. So fingers crossed he continues to put up some nice scores. Petrarca, oh my God, man. This guy's kicking is a very tough watch at the moment. It's just... I don't know. It's just so bad. It's such a hard watch for a player that I love so much. It's very, very hard to see. I'm half wondering if with Melbourne's season over, he just starts playing forward a bit more, so they can give the Lindsays, the Langfords, the Windsors a bit more time in the middle, which I think that's actually what they should do, and I would like to see that as a supporter. Obviously, not great for Supercoach because I think he's still got 70% CBAs, so. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. His kicking's just so bad around the ground at the moment that I think it's actually hurting the team. Caleb Daniel, 102. This guy cannot defend. And I've spoken about it before. And every so often, I think, is it just coinciding with the games where North are really bad? No, I didn't say it last week. But yeah, I don't know. This guy can't defend. And I don't know. They just can't persist with this. It just doesn't make sense. North's main issue is that they don't defend. And having guys that physically cannot defend is not a good start, I would have thought. But yeah, whatever. Sam Darcy, 79. This game, he almost had like 30 contested marks, I swear. Just got his hands to everything and they would just drop out. So yeah, sort of tough in that respect. But yeah, I don't know. Brisbane this week, can't imagine that's going to be too good. But then he gets a very depleted Essendon. Tough matchup against the Giants and some soft ones against Melbourne and West Coast. Hopefully we get a few spiked scores from here. And then Horn Francis, 131, did tear up West Coast. Didn't watch too much of this game, but he looked very good in the bits that I did see. I think he kicked 3 and had 20, 26 or 7, so great result for him. Unfortunately, he has a fracture in his foot, and it is season over for him, so he has got to be traded. So, as I said before, I'll be making 2 trades this week. I don't think I can get the players that I want to, so we're going to do a little bit of scrambling here. We'll see how we go. And then Nas, 86 through a pretty hard tag. We take that. All right, trades. So, Horn Francis and Cherry are out for 6 weeks and 3 weeks respectively. Only 6 weeks left in the season. 1.4 million to play with. So the obvious one from Cherry is gone. He has a very good run home. The question is, what forward does that net me? I can see Chad Warner here. I can also see Phil Thorpe. What's their run like? Or their run's good. Can I stomach another key forward, though, after he put up a 46 against Melbourne? Ooh, probably not. I'm just out of Liam Baker range. Nick Martin. Oh, shout out to Nick Martin. Really tragic ACL injury. Love watching Nick Martin play. But he's a workhorse. He'll be back. Better than ever when he gets back. So, yeah, best of luck in recovery, Nick. Okay, what am I doing with this? Oh my God, Cameron went 43. That was my next one. The one that I really want is Brian Myers. And I'm not sure what sort of haircut I would have to take in the ruck. Or I could go Nank. And then get Brian Myers. So Geelong has a very soft fixture on the run home. he's still got Wits and Cherry, though. So I'm not, in no way I'm going English. Let's stick with Gorn for now. As I said, I would really love Grind Myers. Oh, I have no idea. I was Ginman 420k. Can I go Max Hall? Trade him back in. God, he's gone berserk the last 3 weeks. I don't know. I feel like first year players just gonna. God, their run's good though. Yeah. Any other Sainers? McRae. Also, holding Horn Francis over McRae's been such a disaster. I could go Kennedy, but I'm very scared off by this 23 that I just don't understand. Does have some good fixtures though. Humphrey. Pickett, my boy. Would love to go there, but probably can't bring myself to that. Who's hot? 3-1 average. Curtin? Interesting. He's been very good recently. Probably like 70 floor, but will probably give you some good games. Again, I would love Grind Myers. Max Hall's the man at the moment. They do have a good run. I'm really half tempted to go there. Phil Thorpe over 150. Whilst Phil Thorpe would be fun, I don't necessarily know it would be good. God, the forward's been so bad recently. Yeah, as I say, the one I want is Myers. What if I go Myers? I could get Nank. Dude, he's just feasting in bad matchups. Sorry, in good matchups. Like, these games that he wins, he's going so well. He got KO'd in this game. I think they lost this. And they lost this. They belted Freo in this. But, like, their run is just so good, man. St Kilda. I could see St Kilda tagging him, but the other 5 won't. Oh, no, the other 5 won't. And this run is just unbelievably good. God, I've got a decision to make here, and it's a tough one. Briggs. A couple of nice scores, but soft matchups. And there's 3 matchups there I really dislike. 529. I'm not going Shrek. Sweet. I couldn't, could I? No chance. It just doesn't have the ceiling. Like, I'm just never going to be hurt by not having Sweet. So I think it's either going to be Nank and Myers. And whilst that's going to feel really good this week, I anticipate, I don't think it's going to feel very good against Big Witsy or against Cherry. I don't know. I don't really like Nank, if I'm being honest. I mean, is there like a... Can I do something very strange and just pay up for Grundy? You guys can't really see what I'm doing now. My apologies. Again, there's no one with ceiling here. I mean, 300k, I just can't do that. The Grundy's off. I mean, it's just... I think it's Gorn and Max Hall, if I'm going to be honest. McInerney? I mean, he's... 3 good fixtures there. Like... Kennedy... Never had a good game against Brisbane. But, like, Essendon, GWS, Melbourne, West Coast are all quite good. Jack Graham is banned. I don't know what happened to Peatling. I think my options are either Cameron or Max Hall. And I kind of love Max Hall, if I'm going to be honest. All right, so let's do this. Start with this. I mean, this run is really good. Geelong is tough, but then like Melbourne, North, Richmond, Essendon, and GWS, like they're not bad. I just don't think that this scoring is sustainable, which is why I don't love this. That's why I'm not going to do this. Cameron. I'm like just shy of Baker as well, which I would like. I could go Chad. I mean, they rested Chad last time against North. Doesn't mind the Giants. Essendon is a very good matchup. Geelong at the SCG is probably not too bad, and then West Coast is kind of good as well. But his scores are so weird at the moment. Like he hasn't tonned in ages. So it's got to be Gawn. But do I go Chad or Cameron? That's my decision. I mean, if I go Cameron, I do get a little bit extra cash to deal with the next injury because it's going to happen. And then like, this is not going to be. Is it Goomba? Does he just fill up at GMHBA? 28. Oh, dude, I don't want to own another key forward. I love Chad Warner as well, but I don't know. I kind of want a pod. That's why I'm like half tempted to go with Max Hall. I would love to go Brian Myers, but I just don't think that going Nank is worth it. And I'm not convinced that like, I don't know what Gold Coast give up to wingers or Port Adelaide. I don't know. He's in a nice vein of form though. I feel like that's point chasing though, in my opinion. Dude, all these forwards are so random at the moment, the ones that are going well. Like, I would go Pickett if I could. I mean, the fixture can't be that bad, right? No, I'm not going back, Ross. Just don't know what the role is. Cam Rayner? Brisbane run home to finals. I do love Cam Rayner as a big game player. But boy, can he go missing like no one else. I don't know. There's no level. My issue here is I want someone who I feel like each week I know sort of what I'm going to get out of them. And there's just, like, the forwards are so inconsistent. I think, is Zach Williams injured? Kind of like Zach Williams at the moment. Marriage back to the well. Admin key forward. Like, we're getting too far down now here, aren't we? Mason Wood? I mean, Wood can score. But, like, I don't know. There's just so many bad scores in there. Bailey Fritsch. What am I considering now? All right, let's just stick with Jezza for now. We'll run this. One trade. We're probably doomed from here, but it is what it is. And then the other tough one here is captains, vice captains. I guess Nate would give me a good captain option. But like, I'm looking down here. I could go Tommy Turquoise against Essendon. I don't mind that. I don't hate Dane Zorko against the Bulldogs. But like, there's no history there. I also don't know what I'm going to get from this game either, so I don't love it. Port versus Hawthorn. Again, I kind of expect Butters to get attention, but that could be a good vice-captain option. Excuse me. And then, like, the massive one is Grundy against a failed forward in the ruck. But I don't have that. So if you've got that, you're laughing. Not touching Carlton v Melbourne because the only one I really like there is Gawn, but can't get that. Not against double rucks. And then Richmond, West Coast are playing each other. I'm not going to go Cameron against the Saints or Baz with the taggers running around. And then, like, the other one I don't hate is Brayshaw against Collingwood. Brayshaw or Sarong. I think they both filled up last time. 104. 154. So maybe it's like Butters or Green into Brayshaw. I think if you had Noah Anderson as well, this would be a good week for it. I could go Dawson as well, but I'm sort of not massively keen on that. So yeah, it's going to be... I'm probably going to go Butters into Brayshaw, I think, at this point. I could also go just go Bont, but I think he's going to get some attention. And I like these as my options a little bit more. So yeah, that's how I'm going to line the team up this week. Let me know how you guys are going below. I hope there's going to be people out there with like Rosie, Martin, Cherry, Horn Francis, and I feel so sorry for you people. Probably Cherry as well. So look, best of luck to you guys. I hope you have the cover. I know I don't have the cover, so for me it's going to be McCarthy covering Rosie this week, and we're just going to go from there. Unless Rosie gets up for whatever reason, but then I'll probably loop Rosie, although he has a good matchup. But yeah, that's how I'm going for this week. Let me know how you guys are going below. I hope you have enough trades for the rest of the year. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of a lot of teams struggling for the remainder of the year with very highly owned player in Cherry going down. I don't know what Martin's ownership was, but I think Martin was one I was worried was going to hurt me. So yeah, that's a massive let off for me, but obviously very tragic. Yeah, 17%. It's like not massive ownership. I don't know what Horn Francis' ownership is either. I don't think his ownership is that high because you're 25. Yeah, there's going to be some people in strife, I think, which I have a trade left, so that bodes well for me, but I've got one trade for 6 weeks. But part of me is like, do I just hold Cherry? But I don't know, losing 3 weeks and then Gorn's got like such a good run in the back end. I don't know. I think I'm just going to go with this. But yeah, that's how I'm lining up for this week. Let me know how you guys are going below in the comments. I hope you've got enough trades to correct all these issues. And yeah, best of luck for next week. See you next week, guys. Bye.